Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have Valentine DIYs inspired by French country. When I think of Paris, I think of romance, so I thought that'd be a really fun theme for today's Valentine's Day DIY video. We're going to have 10 new DIYs plus a Valentine's Day tiered tray. For the first DIY, it's going to be a wall hanging that's inspired by French country. I'm using one of the Dollar Tree wood slat heart signs. I just removed the hanger, and even though I'm going to cover most of this heart, I am going to go ahead and paint it first because there'll be some areas like this, especially like those back parts, that you will be able to see. So I'm just going to distress the entire thing with some white acrylic paint. Just so you don't see the unfinished wood in the final project. What I was wanting this to look like is a little bit of a fencing. That's why I wanted the slatted wood heart, because I want to have some flowers looking like they're growing through the fence. Now to cover it up, each one of the panels, I thought it would be fun to do burlap because that kind of has a garden vibe, right? So I wanted to do more like of a French country, but we're also going to be doing like a lot of Paris inspired DIYs as well. I just go ahead and cut some of the Dollar Tree burlap roll down to size, and using a generous amount of Mod Podge, I am just going to attach that to it. These pieces have a finished edge, and as you can see, it was the perfect width for this one. Now, these middle two sections are a little bit skinnier, so I do have to trim those down. I went ahead and put some Mod Podge down first. To put this one down using the finished edge, kind of lining it up, I do want there to be a gap in between the different wood slats so I can have the flowers coming through there. But as you can see, it's a little bit too wide. So I'm just going to trim off that excess. I don't know what's easier, cutting it after or before. I think probably cutting it before is a little bit easier, but I didn't really know exactly how wide I needed it to be, so I went ahead and cut it after. For this one, I decided to cut it before. I thought that might be easier, so I'm going to cut another burlap piece down to size, and using the scrap piece for reference, I'll know how much skinnier to make this one. Another reason I wanted to paint the sign white underneath is because there's still holes in the burlap. You'll be able to see that great texture through with the contrasting color. So again, Mod Podge, I used a little too much this time, probably enough for both of these slats. And we're going to continue on with the burlap. I like to put it on first like this and then cut the top and the bottom and the sides later, just so the burlap won't fray as much. And the Mod Podge helps to seal that before you cut it. So once I get it all on there, I just gave it a quick dry with my heat gun, and then I'm going to flip it over and cut off the excess burlap. I wanted to combine a couple Dollar Tree signs together today to make this fun sign. So I have this wood palette sign. That's a heart. I also have that cute little love sign that you see there that looks like a wood slice. That's also from Dollar Tree. I thought that was so cute and perfect for Valentine's Day. It was in with the home decor stuff. It wasn't specifically for Valentine's Day, which I find most of my Valentine's Day crafting items in the home decor or the crafter square. They have a lot of things that say love and stuff like that that will work really well for Valentine's Day. Now I want to use a ribbon to kind of give a black and white stripe pattern to this one, and I found this great farmhouse ribbon at the Dollar Tree. I wish I had more. Sometimes when you find a great ribbon at the Dollar Tree, you really need to stock up because you might not ever see it again. I cut a piece long enough for each one of the panels. I kind of would have liked to have doubled them up, but I didn't have enough ribbon to do that. So I'm just going to do one on each panel, and I just put some hot glue on the back. And when you think of a lot of French decor, you think of a black and white stripe. I thought this farmhouse ribbon was a really fun take on that because you kind of get that subtle black and white vertical stripe, but it's also very country feeling with the French country and vibes on this DIY. So just putting hot glue on the back of all these. Again, I will go ahead and cut the top and the bottom after I get them all attached and glued down. That way I'll get a perfect cut and I won't have to worry about getting it on there just right or cutting it too short or something like that before. So this is coming along really nicely. I like to layer Dollar Tree signs because it's going to give you a thicker sign. It's going to make it feel more substantial because these Dollar Tree signs can be a little on the thin side. And as you can see, I have sleeves on crafting. It's been really cold in Florida the last couple nights. It was like in the 40s. And I couldn't find my space heater for my crafting area. I craft out in my garage. So this was a frosty DIY today. But I just went ahead and used the same hanger that came with the sign, just putting it back on. The burlap's easy to poke through. And then I want to attach this cute little love wood slice sign. I didn't really care for the bow and the greenery that was on there. It was a little bit too farmhouse. When I want to do more French country, I want to soften up the colors. To do that, I'm going to use a little bit of the lamb's ear from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to use some of the smaller pieces that are on the tops of these. Two of those I think will work well. It also has a hanger with wood beads on there, which I don't really need. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out as well. I'm removing the staple and removing the tag on the back so that I can glue this to the heart sign. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to be able to see it back there. So I just use a little hot glue on the sign itself and attach this middle part. You could also use like the love woodward from the Dollar Tree Crafter Square, or like maybe even the like little diamond shaped wood box that says love that you can have flowers coming out of. There's lots of fun options if you can't find this exact sign. To attach it, I just use staples. That's because that's what they did. It seemed to work well. I used one staple and I put the greenery in both. It seemed to hold it tight enough. And then for flowers, I picked up these little tiny pink flowers from the Dollar Tree the other day. They're called baby's breath, and I love them because they're really tiny. And a lot of times I need some tiny flowers to craft with. And the soft pink color of this is going to be the theme today. We're going to have lots of like soft pink colors. I think that's really romantic for Valentine's Day. Now, I want these flowers to look like they're coming through the fence, kind of like that, peeking out from behind. So I cut them into individual sections. Some have 2 flowers, some have 3. I decided to try to mix it up a little bit so it's not super symmetrical. I did 2 on top, 3 on bottom, 3 on top, 2 on bottom over on this side. And we're also going to have some coming in the middle in that slat as well. I don't really want to, I just want them kind of peeking through. So I need to attach them from the back side. That makes more sense. I just use some hot glue and hot glue this on the stems where they will peek through perfectly. So just doing that here on this bottom section. And I'm also going to do the same thing here, just kind of gluing it to wherever kind of makes sense. And I love these wood slat signs from the Dollar Tree for every season. I always think they're so fun to decorate. You can give them so much personality like this. I want one kind of coming up from the back like this too. So again, I just hot glue it. And this one wanted to kind of not stay upright where I need it to be because I'm going to be hanging out on the wall. So I just tacked it down with a little dot of hot glue on that one as well. And I have a little bit of room maybe to have a flower coming out in this section right here. So just gluing that to the back of that sign there. And then to cover up the staple in the front, I thought about doing a bow, but I decided to mix it up and just do flowers on that as well because I've already got a lot of ribbon on that sign. And I'm going to do like just an odd number of flowers here, like maybe one in the middle, a couple here on each side, just attaching those with hot glue. These do stay together pretty well. They have a little tab on the top and the bottom of the flower. So even though if you cut them really short like that, they stay well attached. This is how it turned out. Our little French country, a love sign for Valentine's Day. I think it's so charming and would look great with any Valentine's Day decor. Again, the theme today is like pink, soft, romantic, French theme for Valentine's Day. And I really love that theme. Super fun, and I had so much fun putting that one together. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to hit the like button. It always helps my videos do better here on YouTube. The next Valentine's Day DIY was really easy. I'm going to use this great frame that I got at the Dollar Tree the other day and this free printable that I designed, and I will share a link to the free printable in the description of today's video. So be sure to check that out. Now this frame looks like wood, and I think it looks very French country vibe, but it's actually made out of plastic, which is kind of surprising, right? It doesn't even have glass. It kind of has like a plastic film for the front. The only thing I didn't like about it is there's this little plastic tab that they didn't cut great on each side of the picture frame. So I'm just trimming mine off with a razor blade. But otherwise, it looks like a white wood frame with a beaded pattern. I love that. For the Eiffel Tower image, I designed this great watercolor of the Eiffel Tower with a little heart on there. I printed mine out on cardstock just because I think it's easy to craft with. You could also do it with paper too. And it's a 4x6 frame, so I printed it out at 4x6, but my picture was a tiny bit too big. So I'm going to use the plastic film that was for the front of the frame as a guide to be able to cut this down just a little bit so it will fit. But I don't want a plastic shiny sheen on the front of it. I want it to be matte. So I put the cardstock first, and then I just used the plastic as a spacer to help fill up the frame and popped on the back. It's really cute as is. It really gives you that look of a white wood frame, and I love the wood beading around the edges. It looks like little wood beads. Mine were distressed pretty heavily, so some of the ones that were distressed a lot, I just kind of went over and distressed with some white acrylic just to brighten them up a little bit. I want them to look distressed, but I don't want them to look super dark. But otherwise, that's all there was to it. I told you that this was going to be an easy DIY. Very French we have with the Eiffel Tower. I love Paris. It's definitely one of my favorite cities I've ever visited. I would love to go back there again sometime soon. But I think it just screams romance. So I think this is a perfect Valentine's Day decor piece. And if you see one of those frames, be sure to pick it up. It was so cute. I'm going to have to get some more of those. I really love it. Okay, for the next DIY, I also found these new hearts from the Dollar Tree. I posted about these on social media the other day. I think they're so cute. They're little wood hearts that have like the distressed white beads on them. And I really thought they would look cute hung as a grouping. So I picked up 3 of them. I'm just going to remove the hangers from 2 of them because I won't need that. And I want to have backs on them, and I want them to be pink hearts, very soft pink hearts. So the only thing I could find at the Dollar Tree that was the color I liked was the Dollar Tree baby blankets in the soft pink color. You could also use like scrapbook paper or whatever you want to line the back of these if you want yours to be like a solid heart too. And I just laid the blanket on the back of it and used like a Sharpie to kind of sketch out exactly how big I need it to be. I don't want it to be so big that it's going to hang over the edges, but I want it to be wide enough that it will cover the heart. I can kind of stretch it taut, kind of give it a fabric appearance on the back of these. These baby blankets, I've crafted with these before. They're great felt material. They don't really fray at all, so they're really fun to use for crafting. I just used the first heart as a template to draw out 2 more because we're going to be doing 3. If you wanted to, you could use like 3 different colors of pink and do kind of an ombre effect. But I wanted very soft pink for all of these DIYs today. So I'm going to go ahead and use the baby blanket on all 3. But I did consider that. And again, I'm just cutting these out kind of roughly. Where I drew the Sharpie line on there, you won't be able to see any of that because it'll be hidden on the back of the heart. And I'm just going to attach them with hot glue on the back. This DIY was also really easy to do, and it turned out so cute. And it's a large wall hanging that covers like a large area of my wall. Be great like on a skinny area of a wall. I think I'm going to do it on the kind of skinnier wall I have next to my entryway when you first walk in for Valentine's Day. So I just put some hot glue all around, stretching it taut, kind of like a canvas on the back of it. Kind of a reverse kind of canvas look, and the heart is the frame. I thought this would be a fun way to add some color to these because I love that they're white and they're distressed already. Some of you guys were asking me if I plan to paint them or leave them, and I was like, I'm not sure yet, but you know what? I kind of like them just as is. The distress job they did on these is actually pretty good. So I just do the same thing on all 3 hearts. I did leave the hanger on one of them to hang the entire wall hanging. But I did remove the hanger, from the other 2 because it would get in the way when I go to tie them all together. I want them to look like they are hanging like from a ribbon of some sort. And I was thinking what I could use for that. I decided on the Dollar Tree burlap roll. Since I've already used that on a DIY today, it's going to help these French country crafts like really coordinate well together. I just glue it on the heart top here of the wood frame. And I only glue it on that, not necessarily on the fabric. I don't want to mess up the fabric by getting any hot glue on there that might be visible. And then I'm going to string it to the middle heart. And I want about 5 inches in between these. I think that's going to be a good spacing. And so just using my ruler for the first one, I can kind of measure 5 inches, just so I can kind of get an idea on the spacing. Again, I hot glue it this time to the tip of the heart frame here. And I have to kind of cut these, as you can see, like in pointed shapes. That way you won't be able to see any of the burlap underneath the pink blanket. It's a little bit transparent. I'm also going to reinforce it with a staple on each one because the frame is nice and thick. You can use your staple gun and it's not going to come through or anything like that. And it's going to just reinforce this, make sure it stays together. I'm going to use the first one as a template to cut down my second piece of burlap roll, the same size. That way my spacing will be exactly the same. Again, just gluing it on with some hot glue to the top part of the heart frame. And the other part's going to go on the bottom of the heart with a hanger on the top. And again, I am reinforcing just with my staple gun to make it a little bit sturdier. I'm not going to add any other details or anything to this. I think it's perfect as is. Isn't that so charming? I love these frames. I found them in one of my larger Dollar Trees. I haven't been looking in my smaller ones just yet, but hopefully everybody gets them in. They're in with the home decor though, not necessarily Valentine's Day, but be sure to pick some up for your Valentine's Day crafting because I think they're really fun. What do you guys think about this one? As you can see, it's pretty large and a great wall hanging for Valentine's Day. For the next DIY, I found these great pink bottles. Now, mine had them in with like Valentine's decor, like on an end cap, but they kind of look like a home decor piece. It's a very soft pink color. I thought this would be really fun to make like an oil diffuser out of. It's so pretty. I thought it'd be perfect for Valentine's Day. So I picked up some oil from the Dollar Tree. This is the warming oil, but it seemed like it was pretty close to just essential oil, which is what I needed for this. I chose peppermint. Peppermint's not always a fragrance that I use, but I'm going to have this in the kitchen. And you know what? Peppermint oil is great for keeping pests away. I've used it. I've sprayed it all over my garage to get rid of spiders. It worked really well for that. But anytime I can kind of repel pests and have something smell good, I'm going to go for that. So I just poured the entire bottle in. And then I just need to mix that with a carrier oil. I'm just using vegetable oil. You just want an oil that doesn't have any kind of scent. And then mix it well. I filled it up about a third of the way with the vegetable oil. And again, the entire bottle of the essential oils. For the Reed diffuser sticks, I had some of these that I picked up at Target. I'm not sure if Dollar Tree carries these. They might. You never know. And I'm just going to use as many as kind of makes sense for this size bottle. I think 5 or 6. I think 5 is what I ended up doing. And then I'm just going to finish it off with a little wood heart from the Dollar Tree Valentine's Day section. In pink, I just put a little dot of hot glue on there and add that to the front of the diffuser. Really easy and functional. Just be sure if you're going to make one of these, you want to rotate your reeds. So flip them over like every day for maximum effect. But I think this is just a fun DIY and a great use for these beautiful bottles from the Dollar Tree to kind of make it something functional by making an oil diffuser. And as you can see, it was really easy to do. You just need some essential oils and some carrier oils. For the next DIY, I wanted to do a French-inspired floral arrangement for Valentine's Day. I found this great like milk jug at the Dollar Tree. It's like a milk jug vase. The thing I liked about it is that it's white and it had a little metal key on it. So I thought that would be really cute, like a little key to my heart kind of theme for Valentine's Day. And instead of roses, you could use pink roses for this. I found some great flowers that they say they're Easter, but they were like in with like my regular floral aisle at my Dollar Tree, with a soft pink and white stripe. And I thought that was a fun, subtle touch to the striped effect that, you see with French decor. And I'm also using some of this farmhouse ribbon from the Dollar Tree in a black and white stripe to tie around the vase to replace the black and white check that was on there. I don't have quite enough of this to make a bow, but I'm just going to kind of tie it, droop the bow down. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. I really want the key to be the star of the show on this one. And I love the milky white color of this vase. I think it's really pretty. These are the flowers. They're like very soft pink, so that's why I went with these. I thought it'd be a little bit of a surprise other than roses, and I think they're really pretty. I think they look very French country. I'm going to go ahead and display them in the vase. It is a little too tall, so I'm just going to try to cut the stem, bend it up a little bit just to make it shorter. But it's very lightweight and the vase is very small, so I don't really have to put anything in there to arrange it. I can just kind of stand it in there like that and use like the metal that's in there to kind of arrange them how I like, leaving it all attached. Another trick I like to do with Dollar Tree flowers is sometimes they can be a little wrinkled. If you go over them with a blow dryer or like a heat gun, like I do, they will come right out. You'll have some smooth looking flowers that look way better, especially for $1.25. You can't beat that. This is how it turned out. Really easy to do. A little French country inspired floral arrangement. I'm also going to be DIYing a tray today to display this with some other items that we're also going to DIY. As you can see, the key on there is like made out of metal. It's really cute and it's kind of like heart shaped. So I think it's just a subtle nod to Valentine's Day and really charming. I love the color of the flowers. Now for the next item for the tray that we're going to DIY, I found this great candle holder from the Dollar Tree that says love. It's got a little handle on there. And I thought we would DIY a candle using one of the soft pink tall glass candles from the Dollar Tree. I probably should have used two. For some reason, I thought one was going to be enough. They never go as far as you think. I just put them in a pot of water on my stove that had been boiling, let that sit and melt. And I'm actually going to use the actual wick and everything that came from that candle once it melted. And I'm just going to use a little hot glue just to get me started so I can kind of center the wick. You can always get wick kits on Amazon as well, but if you can reuse the one that came in the candle, you might as well do it. To make sure that the wick doesn't fall down into the candle while it's setting up, I'm going to take a couple popsicle sticks and just attaching them together with some masking tape. I'm going to make a little hole there for the wick so it will stay up when I go ahead and pour in the wax. So I melted this entire soft pink candle down, pouring the whole thing in. Again, I probably could have got away with two. You always need more than you think when you're working with candles and wax. I'm going to tape this, it'll stay in place, and set this aside to let the candle set up and harden. Now for the tray. This is the first time I found these from the Dollar Tree, these little trays. They're so cute. They're the perfect size for a little tray. They already have the feet on them. And the pattern on this one was actually not too bad. I didn't really want like a plaid though. I wanted something a little bit more greenery. So I'm going to show you how I DIY'd mine. First of all, I'm going to go over it with a couple of coats of white acrylic. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to be using that removable wallpaper from the Dollar Tree, which works great, but especially on a white pattern like that, that is not going to cover those black lines on there. You will be able to see it through. You don't think you will, but you will. I've had that happen to me before. So I just went over it with enough coats to cover up mainly the pattern. And then just using it as a stencil, I'm going to use a pencil to draw on the back of the removable wallpaper. I love crafting with the Dollar Tree removable wallpaper. This is one of the newer patterns that they have with the leaves. And I thought this looked great for like a garden, like a French garden kind of theme. Not something that screams Valentine's Day, but I think it's going to be a great backdrop for the candle that we just DIY'd and that floral arrangement. And I have another idea to add to this as well. It's not very big, but I think this is going to look really cute sitting in my kitchen for Valentine's Day. And I just go ahead and cut it out, peel and stick. Couldn't be any easier. I do want to make sure it's on there really smooth. So I just use like a Cricut scraper to kind of scrape it down. I got mine on there pretty good, but if you have any of the paper kind of coming over the edges, a sanding sponge, these are from the hardware section at the Dollar Tree, work great for removing any of the excess paper and cleaning it up a little bit. And how easy was that for a tray? You don't even have to attach the feet or anything. Just two items from the Dollar Tree. I think it looks so cute for spring. And after Valentine's Day, I could also use this for another spring display. I think it's just really pretty, very subtle, but be sure to look for those trays. I found mine in like the home decor section at my Dollar Tree. And that was the only pattern that I saw them in. I don't know if they come in any others. I probably should have picked up some more. I think that the floral arrangement's going to look great on there. I did set my candle aside so it would start to set up. Just going to cut off the excess wick, trying to make sure it's not too long. Let me show you how it turned out. See, I totally could have put a larger candle in there if I would have went ahead and melted 2 of them, but it's still cute and it says love. So it's perfect for Valentine's Day. Again, this is not a Valentine's Day item. This is something I found like in the candle holder aisle at Dollar Tree with the regular stuff, but it's perfect for Valentine's Day. Very cute, and I think this is going to look great with that floral arrangement on the tray that we DIY'd. So it's a little shorter, so I can kind of put that in the front. I also wanted to add a heart. I had this little soft pink wood heart. That was from a Target dollar spot like tier tray builder kit that I got a couple of years ago at Target. And then I also want to do a wood bead garland. I found one of these from Dollar Tree. I do want to do a small one, so I thought this would work perfect. It's already got the tassel on there, and I can use like the natural wood beads and mix in some Valentine's Day colors as well. Since we're doing the soft pink, I'm going to use some of their soft pink and white beads. I decided to do 2 natural, a pink, a white, and then keep repeating that pattern to fill this up. Just a small wood bead garland, something that's going to fit on the tray and adds a little bit of decor to it. And I love making these. I think they're so fun for tier trays and trays like this as well. To finish it off, I just loop the twine around and go through the last bead that I want on there. And that should hold it in place without anything else. And it's already got the tassel on there, so it's ready to go. I'm just going to kind of wrap that around the candle and the heart there in the front. I did think the tassel was a little longer than I wanted, so I did go in there and trim that up just a little bit to make it a little bit shorter. But I love how this tray turned out. Let me show you how it all looks together. We have those great striped flowers and that adorable little vase there with the key. Our Pink Love candle and the wood bead garland. And I finished off with that little heart and the cute little tray DIY. It was really fun to do, and I think it looks great together for Valentine's Day. Very romantic. For the next DIY, I picked up 3 of these longer board signs from the Dollar Tree. And I want to make like a wood slat sign to use one of their Eiffel Tower wall jumbo stickers on to do like a little French wall hanging. It comes like in 2 pieces like this that you have to put together, which is why I'm going to have 2 slats together so it'll be wide enough for the Eiffel Tower. The third sign is actually just going to be used to attach it all together. And so I'm choosing my 2 flattest pieces here for the bottom. And this one, I'm just going to hot glue to both. I thought that would make it really sturdy and I don't have to worry about popsicle sticks or anything like that. So I just put a lot of hot glue there on the back and glue it to the back. And it seemed to work really well to make a palette sign that way. So just pick up an extra one. Now for the color, I'm using this very soft pink color. Can't remember the name of it. I'll try to look it up and include it in the description. But again, I wanted soft pink to be at the basis of all of these French-inspired DIYs today. So I wanted the Eiffel Tower to have like a pink background. I want it to be a very thin coat of paint though. I want good coverage, but I'm going to distress this heavily to make it look vintage, French country style. So I just want it very soft pink. Now for the wall stickers, you have to be very careful when you're working with these because they do like to rip. I did rip the second half of this a tiny bit, but I was able to fix it. But just be very gentle when you're peeling them off because, again, they're just made out of sticker material. I'm going to try to get this aligned where I think it would make sense. It's not going to be necessarily centered because I still have to fit all the flowers there on the other side of the Eiffel Tower. I kind of wish that the flowers were separate. I could add them separately, but it's all one image. So this is the one I kind of ripped one of the flowers a little bit. So yes, be very gentle pulling those off. And I want to line this up, but I don't want to overlap it because I don't want there to be a ridge. So they are peel and stick, to use on your wall. So they're a little forgiving. If you get them on there wrong, you can peel them up and kind of rearrange those. And just removing any backing that might still be left in there. I had a little bit of overlap there. So I just pick it up and rearrange it. And I think that looks very pretty for Valentine's Day. There's also some other items on here I can use. I can use like je t'aime, which means I love you in French. I had French in high school and college, but I can't say that I can speak it at all. And I'm just going to peel and stick those kind of going down the side of the sign. I don't really have anything over here, so that makes sense. And that's very appropriate for Valentine's Day. They also had a heart on here, which I tried to use. I did think it was a little too big and colorful, though. I do replace it with something else. You'll see here in a minute. But I did try it with the heart that came with it. I didn't really like the navy on it. As you can see, there's navy on the Eiffel Tower and on the writing. And I'm also going to use one of their flowers. I'm going to distress everything a lot, though, so it'll tone down that navy for sure. I do want to seal it on to make sure it stays on and to take away some of the gloss off of it looking like a sticker. So I just use some matte finish Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree and go over everything. I want to go over all the parts of the stickers, all the part of the signs. It's going to help seal it on there, but it's also going to help tone down the shininess. I don't want this to be a shiny project. And if you can't tell, the Eiffel Tower and some of it is gold. And so I'm also going to be adding a gold heart to this as well. Now, I told you I was going to distress it heavily, and I did. So just using some white acrylic and a chunky brush, I just drag it over in one direction. I wanted this to look like an old painted sign. I use a baby wipe to remove some of the excess paint. And you can always take off some of the distressing if you distress too heavily. I did want this to be a heavily distressed project, though, so I do distress it here a couple of times until I get it the way that I like it. Now, for the heart, I'm going to use one of those little wooden hearts there from the Dollar Tree. I thought that'd be a more appropriate size. And I'm going to paint it gold with like a metallic gold acrylic paint, which I'm also going to distress a little bit, so it'll kind of go with the vibe of the sign. But that'll go in with the other gold touches on the sign and be very cute. Just one little heart here to kind of go with the Valentine's Day theme. I just attach it with a dot of hot glue. The hangers, I left the hangers on the top of the sign. 2 of them are open, the 2 on the sides, and so I can still use those to hang the sign. It's just going to be a double wide sign. So I just string it from the back with some twine. I like to knot them on the front. I find that they hang a little bit better that way. And the same thing here on the other side. I do distress mine a little bit more with like a little bit of a sanding sponge. And I go back in with a little bit of paint. I also went in and cut my stickers here to be on the different slatted boards, just because I think it looks a little bit better when you do it like that. And this is how it turned out. If you didn't want to distress yours, I think it would be really pretty as well. But I was going for, that French country kind of inspired Valentine's Day. So I did distress mine pretty heavily, but I love how it turned out. I think it's so pretty. And a nice, fun wall hanging to go with the French-inspired Valentine's Day. Now, the next DIY is going to be super simple. Look at this beautiful candy dish I found at Dollar Tree for $1.25. It's got a soft pink ceramic heart on the top. Perfect for a candy dish for Valentine's Day, and it's going to go great with the soft pink colors. I also found some of this heart ribbon from the Dollar Tree that has little hearts on it on the top and the bottom. That's also that soft pink color. I think that's going to look really cute. And I am just going to attach that with a drop of hot glue here. And just to decorate the top part to bring a little Valentine's Day decor to the jar itself. The lid is perfect. I don't have to do anything to it. And that is it. This is ready to fill with candy. I picked up some Hershey Kisses and Hugs from Target. And I think these will be perfect because the hugs are like a light pink and white wrapping, and the kisses are like the traditional silver foil. And I'm just going to simply fill up this candy jar and display this in my kitchen for Valentine's Day. Such an easy DIY. These jars are great. I think they come in a couple different color lids, but I really love the soft pink color of this one. Isn't that so cute and so easy to do? Let me show you how it turned out. You could add some more colors to the top of the jar, but I really liked the ceramic finish of it. So I think the addition of just the heart ribbon there added a little bit more fun to it. You could also tie a ribbon around it. It'd be really cute too. But a super easy DIY, right? And this is how some of those French country inspired Valentine's Day items look together, the things that are not hanging, as you can kind of see the vibe that goes along with all of them. Now, for the next DIY, we're going to be doing a Valentine's Day tier tray. This is a tier tray that I did that has a very similar style, like very soft pinks, lots of like greenery with like lamb's ear and stuff like that, and very French inspired decor. Enjoy. So I always like to do a little bit of a garland or something like that along at least one of my tiers. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do with this one. I'm using some of the white heart lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I just cut a piece down to size. I can drape that along the top tier, and this is the tier tray that we're going to be decorating for this one, my white wood two-tier tray that I got on Amazon. Now, this was kind of my inspiration piece for the whole thing. It is a little pink Let Love Grow barn that I just got at Dollar Tree. And I really want to go with like a light pink and white, like romantic roses kind of feel for this tier tray. So I don't really appreciate that love was in kind of a bright red. I'm trying not to really do any reds on this one. So I'm just going to update the color, just simply using the love word that's written on there as a guide and using my white Posca paint pen. I love these paint pens. I am going to just go over what was already there. I don't really mind like the little red hearts. That's kind of nice and subtle. And I kind of want to distress the barn, kind of make it look a little bit more antique anyway. So I'm fine with like repainting this one. I did go over it just to kind of make sure that, you know, paint pen can be a little blotchy here and there just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. And also to make sure that I covered up like any of the red that might be peeking out. And then I'm just going to distress the whole thing just to kind of make it look older and prettier. So I'm just using a little bit of like parchment ivory color and just distressing in one direction. I even distress like the wood on the roof and stuff like that. Just a very light dry brushing. And then I'm also going to go in there with a little bit of pink. This is pink polish. This was like a very similar color to the barn itself. And I did that to kind of distress the word love and the white words too, to kind of give them a little bit of distressing too, to kind of make it all go together. And it just has, I think, way more character now. I'm going to put it right here in the back. It's in the back because it's kind of tall, but you can still kind of read it from the front. And I think that turned out really cute. Now for the next item, this is a little candle holder that I picked up at Dollar Tree. It's got the little wood love heart on it, and it's just a light pink glass. Instead of using it for a candle holder, though, I thought it would make a really cute little vase, little mini vase that we could make for plants for the Let Love Grow theme. Now, I don't really want like the exposed natural wood, so I'm just going to paint that real quick with a little bit of antique parchment ivory paint just to kind of give me that pink and white feel with it for the vase. Now to hold the flowers up in there, I'm just going to use a little bit of floral foam from Dollar Tree. I like to buy these ones that come like in the 4-pack like that. A little bit smaller and easier to work with, especially for small projects like this. I'm just going to cut off a small piece and shorten it so it'll fit inside, just something that I can kind of put my plants into. And I'm going to be using some of the lamb's ear from Dollar Tree. I kind of need it to be on a smaller scale though, so I've already cut this apart, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it down even shorter. I'm going to be using a lot of the Dollar Tree lamb's ear for this project. I loved this soft, fuzzy, like green leaves. I think it's going to look really pretty with like my pink roses theme and not too colorful. So I just take a couple of the little sprigs and just kind of shortening them down so they are about the right scale for this little mini vase and arranging them in there. I'm actually not going to do roses with this one. I actually picked up some of these little soft pink little hearts. They do have a touch of glitter on them, but nothing crazy to kind of take away from the feel of this project. And so I think these are going to be just fine. So I'm just going to be using the little pink hearts instead of flowers. I thought that'd be really cute with the Let Love Grow theme. And I like to work with like odd numbers on stuff like this. So I'm going to do a total of 3 of them. I think that's going to be plenty. I'm making sure to not include the leaves with them. This piece has a little baby's breath on there, and I did try it, but I thought it kind of took away from it. So I'm just going to be using just the little pink foam hearts. That is all. And I love the soft colors of the pink and the lamb's ear together. I think it's so pretty and kind of romantic feeling, as is the entire tier tray. So this was super easy. Let me show you how it looks. Our little pink love vase. I think they kind of have these little candle holders year round. I've seen them a lot. I'm going to put that kind of in the front here. And then that's kind of the major big pieces I want for the top tier. So we're going to move to the bottom tier. I found this great box at Dollar Tree, and they had these in like 3 different sizes, I think. And I kind of chose the medium size for mine. I thought it totally matched with the theme. And we can make it like a little box sign. It says Be Mine on it. It's got like the pink roses and really the feel that I'm going for with this tier tray. But it's all kind of glossy, plasticky looking. So I'm going to distress mine. I'm just using some like ivory color and a dry brush. And I'm just going to simply like lightly distress all over anywhere where you might be able to see, even like the flowers on the side. It's got like a little magnetic closure on there so it'll stay closed, but I just kind of want to age it a little bit with a very light distress. I think that looks better. And I was happy with the distressing, but I thought it was still a little too glossy from like that, the seal that they use on it. So I'm then going to go over it with just some matte Mod Podge, and that's going to take a lot of that gloss out and just make it look more like, just regular paper, which is kind of the look that I wanted with this little box. So I'm not going to put anything in it. I'm actually just going to display it on its side so you can kind of read it like a sign. Isn't this so cute? Little Be Mine box from the Dollar Tree. It didn't need much, just a little distressing. We're going to put that over here on this side, on the bottom. And then the next piece I found was from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. It's a little light up rose. I don't know if it's specifically Crafter Square. I think that's where I picked mine up. Or if it's Valentine's Day, but it has like a little turn on there. You can light it up. I'm going to use a soft pink color to kind of go with that romantic feel. Pink polish apple barrel paint. I got this on Amazon. I'll try to link my colors. I've been buying apple barrel paint on Amazon a lot more because it's only like 58 cents, free prime shipping. So easy, so much easier than going to Walmart. So I just used a makeup sponge and gave a light coat of pink to that. I'm not going to worry about the back of it or anything like that. And then I'm going to like dry brush a little bit of that ivory all over just to kind of make it look a little bit more vintage and aged too. And we're going to be doing little pink roses on this tier tray from the Dollar Tree. And I think this is going to match perfectly. And it even lights up. How cute is that? I'm going to put it right back here on the other side of our tier tray and keep DIYing. I saw these little light pink paper doilies from the Dollar Tree, and I thought we could do something really cute with these. I like to do like little mini pillows sometimes for tier trays, and I thought I could probably turn the paper doily into like a little like quilted like little heart pillow. So that's what I'm going to go for here. I'm just using some plain white fabric from Dollar Tree. It doesn't matter if it's cotton or polyester. I think this one's polyester. And I have it folded in half so I can cut 2 layers. I'm going to need 2 hearts, a little bit smaller than the doily. And then I thought we could just attach the doily to the fabric and make a really cute little custom pillow. Now, I don't want to get any ink on my paper doily, so I'm kind of using my ink pen, giving myself a nice border around, and I'll just know to cut way inside that line because I do want the scalloped edges of the doily instead of the edges of the fabric. Now, even though this is just like regular polyester, it does cut pretty well. I didn't really notice any fraying or anything like that. But as you can see, I'm just cutting, oh, I don't know, like 1/4 of an inch on the inside of my heart so that I have a large enough pillow, but really no exposed edges. Now, I don't know if you could, I'm assuming you could use regular Mod Podge for this, but I happen to have some of the fabric Mod Podge, and so I'm going to try that. But again, I think you could probably get away with regular. As you can see, the fabric Mod Podge, the thing I noticed different about it is that it's a lot thicker. So I'm just going to spread that fabric Mod Podge here on the back, and you can see how thick it is. I kind of have to like lop it on. I'm trying to spread it out as evenly as I can. The doily is fairly thin. And then once I get it covered on the back, I'm just going to simply lay that on one of the white fabric hearts. And the reason I chose white is because I wanted you to be able to see that beautiful like pink doily design all along the edges. I thought that'd make a cute little pillow. So I'm just kind of pushing down on that, making sure it is all glued down just with a little wet wipe. And then the other white heart can be the back of the pillow. And it's just a matter of putting it together. It's going to be really simple, of course, no sew. I don't like to break out the sewing machine unless I have to. And so I'm just making sure that is kind of dry enough where I can work with it. And we can start putting this together. On the bottom heart, I just do a bead of hot glue. I'm going to do like about half the heart here to get us started. And kind of line this up. Again, I don't really want to see any of the white fabric from the front. I want it to be lined up fairly well with the fabric heart that we attached the doily to. I left a little bit too big of a window, so I'm going to go ahead and close up one side, and that's just going to leave one little part of the heart that's open so that we can stuff the pillow. Now for stuffing, I like to save old bed pillows instead of buying polyfill. I think it's just a great way to recycle those. And so I'm just taking a little bit of fluff. It doesn't take much. And we're going to stuff this little pillow. I have seen recently that some Dollar Trees are carrying the little bags of polyfill. So that's always an option as well. I have picked up maybe one or two, but I really kind of rely on bed pillows because, you know, those things don't last that long. And then I'm just going to do a little bead of hot glue to close this pillow up. I thought it turned out really cute. It kind of has like, you know, a pink quilted pillow feel, but also the look of a dainty little doily for Valentine's Day. And it actually worked out pretty well. I haven't used that fabric Mod Podge too much, but I do like it. I'm going to kind of lean it up against the pole here in the very front and kind of off to the side. Now the next find was from Dollar Tree. It's a pink glass candle, super cute. It's got like, it's like the little glass studs on the outside. What is that called? I can't remember what that's called. And I thought that would be really cute. Kind of leans into the romantic feel. And I'm going to put it right there in that corner. Then for the other corner, I found the cutest little pink and white little creamer from the Dollar Tree. And I thought I could use some of these little stickers that I got at the Dollar Tree. These are so cool. They look like embossed metal. I was really impressed with these. I kind of wanted to do the love heart, but I thought it would be easier to kind of do the long rose. It's going to kind of go with my theme too. And it's kind of got like a pink behind the rose, so it totally goes with the theme. Now, even though it's a sticker, it didn't really want to stick too well to the ceramic little creamer, and so I'm just going to do some hot glue here on the back to make it a little bit sturdier. And I love how this turned out. Like the sticker doesn't look anything like a sticker. It really looks like high-end, like embossed metal on there. I was really impressed with how this turned out. Isn't that so cute? And I think that's going to be the perfect size to kind of fill out for larger pieces on this tier tray. and then we can start filling everything else in. Now, I thought maybe you couldn't see the little light up rose back there as well, so I just put a little wood block from Five Below underneath of it to kind of boost it up. And I told you we were going to be using a lot of the lamb's ear from Dollar Tree for filler for the Let Love Grow. I really wanted a lot of plants. I am going to kind of cut some of them down into like some smaller pieces so I can kind of work it in and out of all the things that we just DIY'd for the tier tray. This tier tray was so easy to put together and it looks so pretty. I just love it. So I start here on the top tier and just start putting like a sprig here and there wherever it kind of makes sense. I don't really want to cover up that Let Love Grow barn though, because that kind of was my inspiration for the whole thing. So I will push that down a little bit here to make sure that you can still read it. But basically that's going to fill up the two corners on the top that don't really have anything. Then moving to the bottom, we're also going to be using the lamb's ear down here. And again, I'm just kind of filling in any open space where I kind of think it will look good. And anytime you do like a plant kind of theme with your tier tray, it's so easy because you can fill up all the empty spaces on your tier tray easily with the greenery of your choice. And this definitely worked well. I'm so excited that Dollar Tree has the lamb's ear now. It's just one of my favorite greenery to decorate with. I have a few gaps on the sides, and I actually had some individual leaves from cutting those apart. And so I'm just going to kind of just scatter those around as well too, just to keep going with that theme. Now, these are the pink roses that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I do want to see if I can kind of age them, kind of make them look more real if I can. So I'm going to show you, I think it kind of works. I probably could have done a little bit more to it, but I want to try to kind of whitewash slightly to kind of add some color variation to the Dollar Tree roses to see if we can make them look a little bit more realistic. So I just start, there's 6 little pink roses on there, and I start with some warm water in just a jar, and I'm just adding that antique parchment ivory color and mixing that up. I don't really know my ratio. I didn't add probably as much as I wanted because I do have to go back and add a little bit more. But I'm just going to take the roses with the stem still attached and dip that down in there. I've kind of done this technique to age like the fall leaves from Dollar Tree, and it worked really well. I didn't really dip them though, so this is the first time I've tried like dipping them. So I'm just going to dip all of them, laying them flat on my silicone mat like that. So it kind of all drips down towards the inside of the flower. And then I just dried mine with my heat gun. And you can already see after one dip, I do get a little bit a different variation, but it wasn't as significant as what I was wanting. So I added more of that ivory color to the water to make it a little bit thicker. And I'm going to go in with a second dip on mine just because I don't think I added enough paint the first time. I kind of want like some little dots, little variations in color. I think anytime you can do that to a cheap flower like this, you're going to get like a more high-end look. So I dipped all 6 of them again, just laying them face down like that. And then I went in with my heat gun and dried them because I wanted to be able to get this project done, but you could just let them sit. But this was so much faster. And as you can see, the pink is softer. I've got like a little bit of variation in colors. You can even see some spots on the bottom of that one, which I really liked. And it also makes each one of them, you know, a little bit more unique and individual. And I think these are going to look really pretty to finish off this tier tray. Just a matter of drying them. I kind of dried the bottom of them first and then kind of went back and dried the insides. And they dried actually pretty fast. And another thing about using your heat gun is if any of your leaves are like bent up or anything like that, super kind of easy to iron them almost with the heat to flatten them out. This is how they look. I think they're so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and remove them from the little stems. I just left those on there to use in the dipping process. I just want the blooms so we can scatter those all around the tier tray. Isn't that such a soft pink color? Now, if you're only able to find kind of the more obnoxious pink roses they have right now, you could probably do this technique with more paint to soften them up. Mine were already kind of a light pink color, but I think it did add to them, and I plan to use that technique in the future. I like it. So for the top tier, I'm going to scatter them around. One here, one here. I'm going to kind of make it look like the greenery for the roses is that beautiful lamb's ear. And I just want a little touch of roses all over. I kind of have this bigger area here that I needed to decorate. So I'm going to do, I think, 3 roses here. And then I'll save the other 3 roses for the bottom of the tier tray. And just kind of scatter those around too. Kind of like wherever it kind of makes sense to have one. And I just love this theme. It's probably the most romantic looking Valentine's Day tier tray I've ever done. And I think it goes well with the French-inspired theme. I love the soft pinks. It can be really romantic when you use one color scheme like this, especially on a tier tray. But I love all of the soft greens on this one from the greenery, that lamb's ear. I love using that from the Dollar Tree. It's just so soft. And that heart ribbon at the top is so cute, but lots of little pink items from the Dollar Tree. I made this tier tray for my kitchen for Valentine's Day, and I think it's so pretty. Definitely one of my favorite Valentine's Day tier trays that I have ever done. But I'm going to give you a quick look around here of the tier tray, so you can see how it all looks together. I think this one came together nicely. A lot of you guys ask where I get my tier trays from. My rectangular ones like this, I have a wood one and I have a white one. And I got both of those on Amazon. I do have them linked in my shop, but they go out of stock a lot, so you'll have to shop around. But that's a great place to get them. Okay, it's now time for the final reveal. I hope you enjoyed today's French-inspired Valentine's Day DIYs. Be sure to let me know in the comments below which DIY was your favorite. I always love reading all of your comments. Don't forget to check out my second channel, Crafty Little Beach, and I really hope you enjoy the final reveal.
Beneath the starlit sky, our love's secret line, like leaves we soar so high. Beneath the moonlight, the soft touch your hand in mine gets me every time. Lost in the city lights, our love's electric ride. You make me feel alive. I know July is gone. You make me feel at home in the neon glow. As the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, there's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun. Maybe this is the season of love. Beneath an endless night, the world spins around. You're there, ease my mind. Like stars that never die, you and I will shine during the darkest times. As the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, never felt as good or as easy as when we were young. Oh, though I felt misunderstood, it was a pleasure running away with you. We were just children acting like a doll, crazy, naive, bold and carefree. We were kids having kids, crazy, naive. It amazes me that we didn't fall apart harder than we did. Now they keep us on speaking terms. We grow and we learn. I have no regrets, only forgets. Oh, a big thank you to life for giving us sand. Oh, when the timing's right, there's no wasteland. Oh, we were just children acting like adults, crazy, naive, bold and carefree. We were kids having kids, crazy, naive. It amazes me that we didn't fall.
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's video. I also want to give a huge thank you to my YouTube members for supporting my channel. Thank you so much to Karen O'Haron, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, Live Another Day, Maren Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Red Mama, and Donna Tanner. I appreciate you guys so much. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Bum member, you're going to get early ad-free access to my videos. You're going to get badges next to your name, next to all of your comments, and a shout out in every video. It's $4.99 a month, and you're free to cancel at any time. Would you like more Valentine's Day Dollar Tree DIYs? Be sure to check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting and happy Valentine's Day.
Fall apart.